I'm Michelle Reynolds, and this is my comprehensive school physical activity program, the Milford Central School District Fitness Center. Our vision statement for our CSPAP program was that at Milford Central School District, students will gain the knowledge to lead and also to live a physically active lifestyle both inside and outside of the school. And I am the project leader, Michelle Reynolds. The goal that we touched on in this CSPAP project was our goal number 2, which is to improve the quality of physical activity that students receive during recess, open gym, or after-school activities. Our objectives and outcomes were goal 2. Objective 2B, all students will participate in provided activities during recess, open gym, after-school activities, or fitness electives. And then our outcome for that students will meet the daily 60-minute physical activity goals by using the district's fitness center. And so the project that we came up with was first the proposal for a fitness center and the heart rate monitors. At our district, we have a very old fitness center with a lot of mismatched equipment. Nothing is actually safe or usable. And so for this project, I came up with a proposal for the fitness center and also to get heart rate monitors for the phys ed program that can be used for phys ed and also in the fitness center for personal use. The goal was to develop and revive the new fitness center for the school district and the community so they were able to use it. Also, within this project, we were going to order new fitness equipment and fitness monitors. We would clean out the space for the fitness center, get rid of all of the old equipment and bring in the new equipment. Once the new equipment came in, we would install the new fitness center. And then once the fitness center is installed, we would provide and start after-school fitness clubs for grades 9 through 12 and fitness elective classes for 2018 to 2019 school year is the goal, with the use also allowed for the remainder of the school year with a supervising adult. And here is a picture of our current fitness center with a lot of unusable, unsafe, and broken equipment. It's a relatively small space, but as you can see here in the picture, there's a lot of mismatched equipment. There are tears in the mats and the weight benches, which are really actually unsafe and they're very unstable. The cardio equipment is extremely old and unsafe. And so our goal was to get this whole space cleared out and usable, provide equipment to be usable for the students in the community. And so for the step 1, we came up with the proposal, the request for heart rate monitors, and the installation of a new fitness center. Over here to the right, you can see the spreadsheet that was used for the proposal. A spreadsheet of expenses and requests needed to be made in order for the proposal when it was brought to the superintendent and principal of the school district, and discuss how the equipment will be utilized and how the funds would be allocated for the project. And so you can see here again to the right, this is the spreadsheet of the things that I came up with for that I felt would be usable for the space and get the most out of the space. And so the next step was receiving the funds. The proposal was made for the heart rate monitors to install a fitness center. The funds of $25,000 were secured for this project. Below is the communication that the funding was received, which was really an awesome thing that happened. It was really cool to see that the money was allocated for the project. And so here, as you can see in the email, it says, "Good morning. I would like to brighten your day as we have received some funding that will be determined and allocated to purchase the heart rate monitors and request as well as some things as the weight room equipment and so on." And so the next step after this, now that the funds have been received, we go to step 3, which is researching the equipment. This was the most tedious task of the whole project thus far. You really have to find different equipment, what would work best for your space, for your students. Here are some examples of the equipment that was researched and technology that was researched. So I had to develop a list of equipment and technology needed for the fitness center, research different pieces of equipment, quality, I had to go over the quality, the reviews, the price, the quantity, and etc. How many we would actually need for the students. As you can see there in the picture, I had to look for flooring, different types of weights that would be beneficial in the space, types, free weights, medicine balls, also the heart rate monitors, and then the benches and equipment that would be connected to the wall as space savers for which was, as you could see in that picture previously, a relatively small space for a fitness center. And so also step 3 is finding the bids. This was any piece of equipment or technology close to $1,000 required multiple bids for approval. The form had to be filled out with the bid information. And so here's some examples below of heart rate monitor bids that I had to request from different heart rate monitor companies. We actually decided to go with the Polar heart rate monitors. How they're going to be used is they will be divided up among the elementary and middle school, high school, and students will rotate and use the heart rate monitors as they come into the classroom, which is a really exciting tool for phys ed, but then also they will be available to students who would like to use them while using the fitness center. So here are some bids that had to be received in order to apply for or request or purchase the equipment and technology. And so here's an example of a bid. Here to the right, you can see this was the form that had to be filled out. You had to have at least 3 different bids for any purchase that was close to $10,000. You had to have written quotes. And so here's an example bid. This was a bid form. It looked like where we filled out for the project. This is the bid for the heart rate monitors that I had to complete. Also with this form, you had to include the bids that you saw on the previous slide. And so also in step 3, there was requisitions. Here you can see this is the requisition that needed to be, or the form that needed to be used for the requisitions. This is required to purchase any purchase that you make in the school district. This form must be filled out. It's an order form for equipment and etc. And to the right, you can see here, this is the form that we use for the project. So with this form, I also had to attach the shopping cart from either the website or have a copy of the equipment copied out of a book if we were ordering it from a book. Also with the requisition forms, you had to attach the specs or specifications of the equipment that you were purchasing. So what I did is I went onto the website, I pulled up the specifications of certain pieces of equipment. I'd print those off, and then I also had to attach those to the requisition forms as well. And so the next step after this, really the requisition part was probably the most tedious and demanding of the whole thing so far within this project. And so I had to hand it in. I'd get it back because something wasn't correct, and I'd hand it in again, and then I'd get it back again because there was something else that wasn't correct, or I didn't have enough information included for the business office to accept it because they didn't want that form to come back to them and then thus having to come back to me. So they just kept sending it back to me to make sure that I was going to have everything I needed. So once it's submitted, it goes through. And so then after this step, now that these have been submitted, we go on to step 4, which is the cleanup of the fitness center. Now that the forms have been submitted, and clearing the fitness center of the old equipment will be done here. As you can see, this is again the picture of where the fitness center, where the equipment is and has to be cleaned out. There is a scheduled meeting for the proper disposal of the equipment, and when this can be executed, we had to do that. We have to have a meeting in order to do that, which our superintendent has been out this past week, and so we are planning to do that in the near future here. And so step 5, it will be once the equipment comes and once the flooring is installed, the equipment delivered, the installation process will take place, and we will organize it to meet the needs of the space, how it will best fit in the space, and so that we can utilize the equipment in the space most effectively for the most amount of students allowed to be in there. And so then also after that, step 6 will be the use of the fitness center. Once the installation is complete, students will be able to use a facility with a supervising adult. The fitness elective class for 2018-2019 will become an option for students, which is something we're really excited about. That's for the grades 9 through 12. And then after school fitness program will be developed for the 2018-2019 school year as a part of the CSPAP initiatives that we have come up with. And then also, once hopefully the fitness center will be installed before the end of the school year, and with that, students will be able to use it at the end of the school year after school if they choose, with the supervision of an adult. And so the results of this, due to setbacks within the requisition process, the project has not yet concluded, and therefore there are not yet results from the process. However, progress is definitely being made, and you can see in the future what will take place. And this is definitely something that's going to continue on, not just for this project here, for this course, but it will definitely impact the school in the long run, with being able to add electives and having a fitness club after school, or possibly even before school, depending on the needs of the students. And so it's definitely going to impact the school for the long run, and this will continue for years to come, is what I hope. And so thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the slideshow.